After a clash with Ridge, Bill's floored to learn Liam has an inoperable brain tumor. In Liam's hospital room, the nurse informs Hope and Steffi she has to check his vitals, but not before coaxing him to wake up and open his eyes. The nurse informs him he may be able to hear then and that his vitals are stable. She exits and Steffi and Hope go over Bill being the reason Liam is there. Bridget joins Hope and Steffi. She wanted to check on Liam herself. They all hope he'll wake up shortly. Steffi says they adore him very much. Bridget learns Kelly and Beth don't know anything. Steffi adds they can't lose him. Grace walks in and wants to inspect Liam herself. She pushes Steffi and Hope to go join the others. Bridget, Steffi, Hope, B&B. Bill and Ridge go at it. In the hallway, Bill tells Ridge and Taylor he wants to see his son. He has no excuses. Getting Luna out of prison was idiotic and he'll regret it for the rest of his life. He only hopes losing his son won't be his punishment. I have to see my son. Ridge, Bill, B&B. Ridge rants that Liam shouldn't wake up and see Bill, the man who unleashed Luna on the world. Taylor reminds Bill that he's not alone. Steffi and Hope are with him. Raging, Bill bellows that he won't be kept from his son. Ridge follows him as he storms off. Brooke enters, and Taylor informs her Liam was shot by Luna. Taylor, Brooke, B&B. In an empty room, Ridge shoves Bill and informs him that Liam was shot because of him. He hollers at him to do the right thing for his son for once. Ridge informs Bill that Liam almost died because of him. He's part of their family too. If his granddaughter loses her papa, he'll rip him to shreds. Bill says he wouldn't have to. There'll be nothing left of him. Ridge, Bill, B&B. Ridge screams about Bill being arrogant and thinking the rules don't apply to him. He has no moral compass. His family understands he's not capable of love and respect. He'll always select himself, and that is why he'll end up alone. He tells him to go be alone. Liam doesn't need him or his version of guilt. Bill thought he had a handle on the issue with Luna. Ridge questions how he could trust a person who killed 2 people in cold blood and smiled about it. He accuses Bill of not caring what occurred. Bill shakes his head. There's no excuse for what he's done. Ridge tells him there's nothing he can do. Maybe pray that Liam makes it. If he doesn't, Billy boy, this guilt is going to eat you alive. In the hallway, Brooke hears from Taylor that Luna is dead and exclaims, "Oh my God!" Taylor believes Liam saved Steffi's life. Hope and Steffi join them and update them on Liam. Ridge and Bill reappear, and Hope asks Bill what he's still doing there. Bill's there for his son. Hope informs him he's in that hospital bed owing to his insane obsession with Luna. She wants him to depart. Bill won't leave his son. Hope yells that he won't garner their sympathies. He doesn't deserve that, not from Liam. Not when he's struggling with a brain tumor. Bill grunts. What? Hope reveals that Liam has been struggling with cancer this entire time. Bill B&B. Bill learns Liam didn't tell him about his illness, and Steffi snarks that he probably would have ordered him to man up and get over it. Bill rails, "What are you talking about? This cannot be true." Hope tells him even if Liam survives the shooting, the tumor is inoperable. Bill reels. Bill cry B&B. Sheila mourns. In Sheila's hospital room, she digests the news that Luna died in recovery despite Lee and Bridget doing everything they could. Finn tells her to focus on her own recover. Things could have been a lot worse. Lee enters and requests to talk to Finn quietly. They depart, and Deacon tells Sheila he's sorry. He knows she wanted to help Luna in some manner. Sheila knows her granddaughter hurt people. She hurt people she loves. She just wouldn't listen, and now she's gone. Sheila feels like a piece of her perished with her. Sheila cry B&B. Sheila tells Deacon she wanted to believe Luna could turn her life around. Deacon thinks Sheila saved Steffi's life. He's extremely proud of her for defending Finn's wife. More. John McCook teases grandeur and glitter. In another room, Lee asks Finn to be honest with her about Luna. How do you really feel about your daughter's death? She promises not to judge. You don't have to pretend that this isn't complicated. Finn agrees it's complicated, he's just trying to comprehend all of it. Her life was wasted. It was filled with unhappiness and trauma. His son grew up like that, so how could he not feel something? On the other hand, his wife could be deceased. The thought of her being close to Hayes makes him queasy. And Lee pushes her son to let Luna go. Deputy Chief Baker appears and tells them that Luna drew a gun on the teacher at the school also. If she survives, she's going back to prison and never coming out. Finn claims she's dead. Baker B&B. In Liam's room, Bridget frets about him not waking up yet. Grace realizes this is a personal concern for her. Go be with your family. Once alone, Grace leans over Liam and says, "We can't lose you, Liam. We can't lose you." She seems frantic or stressed out. Grace B&B. In the hallway, Bill struggles to grasp that Liam has brain cancer and hid it from him. Hope asks, "Do you really need to ask why?" Bill says he'd do everything in his power to save his son. He knows that. Steffi claims he's selfish and just cares about himself. That's why Liam didn't tell him. Bill argues that's not true. He'd lay down his life for his boys. Brooke Hope B&B. Hope says that he made Liam feel he wasn't good enough. Bill tears that they just had a fantastic talk together. "My son is not going to die." Steffi says he'd better pray that he doesn't. If she has to tell her daughter her father's gone because of his selfish stupidity, he won't have to lay down his life. Just then, Bridget and Finn appear, all grins. "Dr. Buckingham, just let them know that Liam is starting to respond." Steffi and Hope rush off. Taylor hugs Ridge, and Brooke shoots a glare at Bill. More. B&B weekly preview video. In Liam's room, Grace tells Steffi, Hope and Finn that he's responding to stimuli. Steffi and Hope plead with him to wake up, and he cracks open his eyes. They rush to his side as he struggles to focus on their faces. "Hey," he croaks. Hope and Steffi are saturated with relief. "Thank God you're back." Liam's $1 million surgery. Nick's Italy offer for Brooke. The bold and the beautiful preview video spoilers for the week of July 14th to 18th reveals that Liam Spencer will undergo a $1 million surgery, while Nick Marone has an Italy offer for Brooke Logan. B&B's weekly preview video opens off with Nick refusing to let Brooke go down the same old road with Ridge Forrester again. Nick will persuade Brooke to embrace a fresh start with him instead, starting with romantic holiday together. Brooke will be caught aback when Nick invites her to fly to Italy with him as part of their fresh beginning. Although Brooke will definitely need an opportunity to mull it over, she'll indeed end up flying to Italy with Nick later this month. In the meantime, Bill Spencer will ask Dr. Grace Buckingham if there's any true chance for his son. "What if I told you there is?" Grace asks Bill in B&B's weekly promo. Liam can also be seen on the operating table seeming disturbed over what's happening to him. Another clip from the teaser shows John Finn Finnegan and Bridget Forrester discussing how this isn't typical policy. There'll surely be some doubts and suspicions about what Grace is up to. The weekly preview finishes up with Grace glancing over some info on her phone, which indicates that a $1 million transfer is complete. Bill would pay everything to help Liam survive, so it appears like he'll supply this $1 million, and then Grace may make sure it arrives in the hands of whoever seems to be pestering her. There's been considerable buzz lately regarding Grace's ex-husband, Dr. Reese Buckingham, who had major finance troubles. Is Grace coping with some problems because of her old flame? Could someone connected to Dr. Buckingham be pressuring Grace to push an untested and extremely risky treatment? Regardless, it's evident that Grace is hiding some significant secrets that'll affect Liam's storyline. So we'll bring you updates on all the stunning news to come. Will Hope and Liam's life-saving twist lead to a heartfelt reconciliation? The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates hint that Hope, Logan, and Liam Spencer might come back together following a stunning turn of events. Will Hope ultimately come to recognize that her feelings for her ex-husband transcend those she has for Carter Walton? Sometimes you don't really realize how much you need someone until you could lose them. Hope has been nervously fearing the loss of Liam, so she clings to the prospect of a miracle. The notion of Liam succumbing to an inoperable brain tumor has been exceedingly hard for Hope to bear. Understandably, the issue has intensified now that Liam has been shot. All this havoc generated by Luna Nozoa will definitely harm Liam's loved ones, particularly Hope. Thankfully, a leaked screenplay for an upcoming episode in September still includes Liam as part of the cast, which is promising news for his survival. Liam is anticipated to overcome this horrible trauma and likely obtain the miracle Hope has been waiting for with his tumor as well, at least in some way. Grace Buckingham's been acting awful shifty. Given the unusual behavior demonstrated by Grace Buckingham lately, there's definitely a twist in the tale on the horizon. It looks that Grace is lying Liam about his health for strange reasons that may come to light soon. No matter how B&B unfolds this narrative, all evidence suggests that Liam will complete this arc as a healthy individual. This might likely affect the path of Liam's destiny, especially considering his romantic connections. Liam urged Hope to go towards Carter because he wished for her to have support once he was out of the picture. Will Liam's feelings and perspective change when he finds out he's not dying? Will Liam's sentiments change after he discovers he isn't dying after all? Might he decide he wants Hope back after all? Hope's emotions might likely drive her back to Liam after nearly losing him, first with this tumor deceit and then during this gunshot drama. It's easy to envision Hope feeling she's been handed another opportunity for happiness with Liam and wanting to seize it. Hope could ultimately come to the revelation that she desires her ex-husband more than she does Carter, especially if Daphne Rose reappears to complicate things. Will Hope opt to stop her relationship with Carter to get back together with Liam? May Liam and Hope emerge as the perfect couple to cheer for again? The air in the hospital was heavy with dread as Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester waited at Liam Spencer's bedside, watching the regular rise and fall of his chest. The quiet beeping of equipment brought little consolation, simply reminding them of the fragility of his situation. A nurse softly coaxed Liam to wake up, hoping that her voice could reach him in whatever liminal place he currently drifted through. His vitals were steady, she told them, but time was running out, and each second felt like an eternity. Bridget Forrester entered, her expression a blend of anxiety and resolve. She embraced both women, confessing that she couldn't stay away without seeing Liam with her own eyes. Steffi's voice cracked as she whispered, "We love him so much," her palm holding his limp fingers. Bridget wondered if Kelly and Beth had been notified. The answer was a heavy nay. Steffi's words resonated like a frantic prayer. They can't lose him. Moments later, Dr. Grace Buckingham appeared, determined to evaluate Liam herself, urging Steffi and Hope to go update the others. Grace's tone was stern, but her eyes betrayed the stress she carried. In the hallway, tensions ignited like a fuse. Bill Spencer, desperate and guilt-ridden, pleaded with Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes to allow him see his son. He provided no excuses, confessing his choice to liberate Luna Nozawa had been the worst mistake of his life, one that now threatened to lose him the one person who still gave his life meaning. "I have to see my son," he snarled, his voice low with agony. But Ridge was unrelenting. To him, Bill was the villain, the man whose reckless infatuation unleashed mayhem and death. Taylor gently told Bill that Liam wasn't alone, that Hope and Steffi were with him, but Bill wouldn't be soothed. He stormed off, and Ridge ran after him, rage bubbling to the surface. In a separate room, Ridge snapped. He shoved Bill hard, and for a moment it seemed the two titans of the Forrester and Spencer empires could finally come to blows. Ridge shouted at Bill's hubris, accusing him of doing without repercussions, of being incapable of genuine love. "You'll end up alone," Ridge seethed. "And Liam? If he dies because of you, that guilt will swallow you alive." Bill didn't deny it. "There'll be nothing left of me," he whispered, voice lifeless. Back in the hallway, Brooke Logan appeared and gasped as Taylor whispered the devastating news. Luna Nozoa was dead, and Liam had been the one to save Steffi's life. Hope and Steffi rejoined them, delivering updates. When Bill returned again, Hope demanded to know why he was still there, her voice quiver with wrath. "You did this," she hissed. "Because of you, Liam's in that bed. You don't deserve our sympathy. You especially don't deserve Liam's." And then the bomb dropped. "He has a brain tumor," Hope stated. Bill staggered back like he'd been shot. "What?" he gasped. Hope revealed that Liam had kept his illness quiet, perhaps knowing Bill would never comprehend. Steffi jumped in harshly, claiming Bill would have probably told him to stick it out. The revelation crushed Bill. "No," he muttered. "This cannot be true." But it was. The tumor was inoperable, and even if Liam survived the shooting, his time was still limited. The weight of it all, Luna's outburst, his irresponsible choices, and now this, crushed Bill under the agonizing reality that he may lose his kid twice over. Meanwhile, in another part of the hospital, Sheila Carter sat in horrified silence as Deacon Sharp gently broke the news of Luna's death. Despite her pain, Sheila knew that her grandchild had inflicted unspeakable damage. "She just wouldn't listen," she muttered through sobs. "And now she's gone." Deacon told her she had saved Steffi's life, something no one could take away. But Sheila only shook her head. A piece of me died with her. Elsewhere, Lee Finnegan questioned her son Finn about Luna's death. She assured him he didn't need to pretend. "You can feel something. You should." Finn admitted that Luna's life had been tragic, a vortex of trauma and pain. She had injured many, including his wife and child, but part of him still regretted the daughter he hardly got to know. Deputy Chief Baker came, stating that Luna had also threatened a teacher with a gun at the school. If she had survived, she'd be locked away forever. But she didn't. "She's dead," Finn stated, his tone inscrutable. Back in Liam's room, Bridget hovered anxiously, her worry rising. Grace persuaded her to go be with her family. Once alone, Grace bent over Liam, whispering desperately, "We can't lose you." Her voice trembled as if burdened by something beyond medicine, a secret nibbling at the edge of her sanity. In the hallway, Bill reeled from the discovery of Liam's malignancy. Hope snapped. "Do you really need to ask why he didn't tell you?" Bill argued he would do anything to save his son, but Steffi reminded him that Liam never felt safe confiding in him. "Because everything's always about you." Bill broke down, sobbing that he had just recently experienced a meaningful talk with Liam. And so, when Liam's eyes met on Hope's tear-streaked face, the tangled threads of love, regret, and atonement tugged tight again. One man's brain tumor had become the furnace through which an entire family would be tested, and not everyone would make out whole. The sterile, artificial hum of the hospital hallway was deafening in its quietness as Bill Spencer's footsteps echoed across the linoleum floor, each one growing heavier, more thundering with dread as he approached the closed door of Liam's private room. His fists clenched at his sides, striving to retain the iron-willed calmness he'd always carried like armor. But tonight, that shell was cracking, no, shattering, beneath the awful weight of what he'd just heard. Steffi Forrester, arms crossed, eyes keen and voice dripping with barely contained hatred, had just delivered the emotional equivalent of a sledgehammer. "Maybe Liam didn't tell you about the tumor because he knew you'd just tell him to man up and get over it." The words hung in the air like smoke from a house fire, poisonous and strangling. Bill whirled around, genuine rage and bewilderment engraved across his face. "What are you talking about?" His voice rose in a crescendo of denial, roaring louder than it ever had in a boardroom, a bedroom, or a backroom deal. "This cannot be true." But Hope, standing at the foot of Liam's bed, didn't flinch. She merely looked at him with weary, red-rimmed eyes and imparted the fatal truth with the quiet gentleness of a guillotine blade. "Even if Liam survives the shooting, the tumor is inoperable." Bill jerked back as though someone had punched him in the gut. Inoperable. The word sunk into his chest like a razor. His knees weakened slightly, his fingers grasping the nearby chair for support as his throat clenched with emotion he hadn't allowed himself to feel in decades. "No, no," he whimpered. His voice cracked, unusual in its fragility. "He's strong. He's a Spencer. He's not giving up." But even he could see Liam's pale, still face and the machines surrounding him told a different story, a story that had already written its final chapters. This was his son, his boy, the one he'd failed to protect from heartache, betrayal, danger, and now this, death by quiet. His quietness. Liam didn't tell him. He hadn't trusted him enough. And as the guilt overtook him, Bill dropped into the chair beside Liam's bed and finally let himself cry. For once, the tower of power and pride was gone, replaced by a devastated man grieving over a boy he could already be too late to save. Elsewhere in the hospital, Sheila Carter lay in her own bed, her skin pallid, her body patched up and aching from where she'd pushed herself into the line of fire to protect Steffi. But pain wasn't what she was thinking about. The anguish emanated from somewhere deeper, inaccessible by knife or drug. It was the devastating news Lee had delivered just hours earlier. Luna didn't make it. Her grandchild had died in recovery despite everything Lee and Bridget had done to try and bring her back. "No," Sheila had muttered when she first heard, her voice hoarse and incredulous. But that wasn't denial, it was devastation. Now, as she lay there staring at the ceiling, her lips twitching, her hands gripped tightly over her chest, Sheila mourned. Finn, ever the obedient son and doctor, had advised her to focus on her own rehabilitation.